Oh, Christopher Nolan.
He's a man.
He's a man. A visionary director, he's often called.
Yeah.
He pretty much defines modern blockbusters.
Master auteur.
Master auteur of the blockbuster generation.
Yeah. His films are like deep in it.
Deep in it, yeah. Deep.
Yeah.
They've got all that like twisty stuff.
Yeah. I like how the characters are constantly talking with loud funny music to give the illusion that more stuff's happening than actually is.
You know.
Oh.
Don't tip it too early. But yeah, Christopher Nolan, pretty much. You'd agree that he pretty much defines modern blockbusters, wouldn't you?
Yeah, yeah. He was the instigator, I think, of the modern superhero trend, which we've talked about extensively on other videos. But Christopher Nolan, I think,
he was the first one really to make it really dark and realistic.
Which we're still feeling today.
We're still feeling it today, yeah.
You know, there's been a real trend to go towards dark, edgy, gritty superhero movies like The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which we've touched upon.
Yeah, he made him. He pretty much brought back DC as a viable film entity. Yeah. Because like Superman, after that franchise died, were there even any real big ones, or any at all?
There were attempts. No, they did one starring Shaquille O'Neal.
Really?
Yeah, called what's it called? Oh, Steel.
Steel.
He plays a superhero. It's meant to be horrible, but I think that's a DC property. I think that was like the only one. Well, it was mostly after what killed it for DC was Batman and Robin. In '97, you know, Joel Schumacher and his infamous.
Oh yeah,
film.
the original Tim Burton Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he brought it back in a completely different way.
Yeah.
He went as opposite to those filmmakers, Burton and Joel Schumacher.
Yeah. You know, it's funny that people say the original, the '89 Batman's quite dark and, you know, edgy and gritty, but it's an incredibly camp film. Yeah. Like, I don't really see how you could call that a gritty and edgy movie.
Elements of it are, so people have confused that with the complete film.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
We'll be talking about that soon, the original Tim Burton Batman, so yeah.
I mean, all I remember from the film is, like, the Joker Prince music video halfway through when he trashes the museum.
Oh, that's an amazing sequence.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty much. But anyway, he's got a new film out as Christopher Nolan.
Yes, it's called Interstellar.
Interstellar.
It's out tomorrow.
Apparently, it's less than stellar.
Yes, the reviews have been very mixed.
Very mixed. Isn't it? It'll be like, I think it's 70% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. People are. The general consensus seems to be that the ambitions are to be applauded, but the actual technical story and characters fundamentally fail. Yeah,
so good ideas. Try your execution a bit better, Nolan.
Yeah.
That's sort of what the reviews are saying.
That seems to define his career. I mean, obviously we've not seen Interstellar yet. I'm seeing it this weekend.
Yeah.
So I'll probably do
a
video review, probably straight after I've seen it. So I'll upload that on my first impressions on it. And I don't know when you're going to see it.
Yeah, I might see it at weekend as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be seeing Interstellar soon. But isn't it interesting that this seems to have the same problems as other films have, but only now he seems to be getting a critical bashing that he's getting now.
So our question is, why?
Why? Yeah, why has the tide turned on Christopher Nolan? Why isn't he the filmmaker to aspire to be now when he used to be?
So probably to do that we need to chronologically go back and look at
his career.
Each of his movies.
Yeah, so pretty much he did a film before, a black and white film called The Following.
Which is fine.
But the first real big film he did was Memento.
Ah, here's my copy.
Memento is a classic film.
If you've not seen Memento, I would highly recommend it. And I would highly recommend you get this edition.
Yeah, it's amazing. You can watch the film in chronological order as well.
Yeah, this is the lovely 3-disc edition of the movie. I'd highly recommend you get this edition. It's someone even lovingly, I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but on the oh god, upside down. Yeah, on the side, someone must have ripped it and then they've lovingly recreated the logo. That's how I bought it, which I thought was really cool. So yeah, if you don't know, Memento is a film where basically it's told backwards. Yeah. Was it about a murder? Yeah, basically, Guy Pearce plays someone who can only store memories for like 3 minutes at a time. Conveniently how long most film scenes are. Especially if you're Michael Bay.
But yeah, so he can only hold memories for like 3 minutes or so. and his wife is dead, and he's going out to find who killed her.
Yeah.
That's basically that. It's a noir like that. It starts a lot of themes that his films pretty much explore. They all seem to have like a wife who's died or dying.
Yep.
And a hunt by the person to either solve who killed her or to try and stop it.
Well, absent females are a theme of Christopher Nolan's films, which we'll get into his representation of women later, I think, yeah.
But yeah, Memento, great. Then he followed it up with Insomnia.
I've not seen that one.
It's another twisted
Is that got
film.
Robin Williams in?
Yeah. He's amazing in it. But it's more Hollywoody than Memento. It's not as good as Memento, but it's still a decent film. And then he started going on to making like Batman Begins, The Prestige, Dark Knight, Inception, Dark Knight Rises, and now Interstellar.
So, Batman Begins
is
a complete reinvention of the character.
Yep.
It's dark, gritty, plagued by dreadful lighting and infamously poor fight scenes, but the overall effect, I think, of the film is still there. I think Nolan should be applauded for even attempting.
That's true. Who cares if the fight scenes look like this?
Yeah, who cares if it's a shot like that? Yeah, yeah. I think what he attempts to do is pretty noble.
He's trying to make it from pulp into art,
essentially. Yeah. I've always said this about his Batman films. It ultimately doesn't matter that Batman's the focus. It's just for commercial sake. He could have picked any subject.
Yeah.
Let's have that Birdman.
That new thing.
Yeah, with Michael Keaton. It's kind of like that. I don't know anything about it, but they could have picked any other superhero.
Yeah.
But he picked Batman, his iconic character, and basically what Nolan's doing is deconstructing him.
Yeah.
And he follows that up in The Dark Knight.
Yep.
Which
is a great film.
Great film.
Other than Memento, probably his best.
Probably, yeah, his most complete film.
Yeah.
I'm more for the Heath Ledger performance.
Yeah.
I think it's got great themes, great ideas. I love the idea of anarchy versus order, and it brings into question the whole nature of Batman. Basically, it questions superhero ideology.
Yeah.
We were talking about it on the trip up here. Saying like essentially Batman's a rich white conservative fighting this wide cavalcade of variety and these different characters and villains. And
I've not seen it in a bit, but isn't the first hour about like a money laundering scheme?
Yeah, money laundering scheme. Yeah.
See, it's that realistic element he brought back.
Yeah.
And everyone said it was a classic.
It was, people declared it as an instant classic. Yeah. It's a very good film.
It is very, very good.
It still holds up, I think. In between that, he made The Prestige, which might be my favourite Christopher Nolan film. I don't think it's his best one.
Yeah.
I think that's probably Dark Knight and Memento, but I think Prestige is my favourite. I like the intrigue, I like the interplay between Christian Bale and
Hugh Jackman.
I think there's really a lot of fun. It's all about smoke and mirrors and mystery. It's basically about two magicians that try to outdo each other's acts, and then Christian Bale comes across a trick which completely ounces Hugh Jackman, and Hugh Jackman's going mad trying to work out how I did the trick. I love the structure to it, I love the characters, I love Michael Caine's character. I like how the structure of the film is based around how you do a magic trick. They have the 3 stages of how you do a
and
piece
The Prestige is the last one.
Yeah. It's really clever.
For fans of films where they say the title in it, you'll have a field day with
You'll
The
love
Prestige.
this one. And better yet, David Bowie plays Nikolai Tesla.
Oh, that's
which is awesome. He's perfect as Tesla.
But yeah, The Prestige is a great film.
Yeah, I said, but my favourite Christopher Nolan film.
You see, I think he was best when he was doing kind of like that. He would make like one big film, and then a little like modestly budgeted film. We're still looking a huge budget for that. It would have been like 50 million, I reckon.
Yeah, it was good.
Just period and all that, and all the actors. But they were like more intimate. But he seems to have now gone into making huge films, followed by huger films, followed by huger films.
Because because then next one after Dark Knight, it was Inception. Inception, people saying, it's like his break from Batman. But Inception's a massive film.
Well, the budget wasn't it the same or even higher?
It was 200 million, I think. Yeah, round about that, obviously plus marketing. Another huge film. Now in Inception, I think Inception got incredibly positive views when it first came out. And I think since people have poked holes in it.
Well, it's like number 10 on IMDb's top 10. It's in either, I think it's top 20.
Jesus.
And in that Empire thing, it was number 10.
It was number 10, which I think is a bit ridiculous.
I really, really like the film. I think though that it does go for some of his, I as you say, it has a lot of problems.
Yeah, I think again, kind of similar to the reception to Interstellar. I applaud the ambition, but I think the execution's a bit sloppy. I don't think it does the best with the subject matter. I think there's been other films that have represented dreams better. Yeah. I mentioned Paprika by Satoshi Kon, which is basically the same plot, but I think that visually it's much better.
The whole work of David Lynch.
Oh yeah, I think David Lynch. Something like Mulholland Drive, there's a nightmarish quality throughout the entire film.
Yeah, and eerie and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, Eraserhead.
Yeah.
And I think I've always said this, but I think if you're still explaining the plot 20 minutes before the end of the big blockbuster film, I think you've kind of failed as a blockbuster film.
Yeah.
But it's obviously the problem is, I think, with Inception, it's trying to be art. It's trying to be a huge, grand, intelligent film, but at the same time, it's kind of restricted by the confines of blockbuster movie making.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. It's a decent movie. I'd quite happily watch it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think it goes on a bit too long. I think there's too much exposition.
Yeah.
When you should just let it play out. Because in dreams, how can you this could sound a bit pretentious, but how can you explain a dream?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can.
No.
Christopher Nolan is always he's like Icarus. He's flying too high. Flying too high. I think it's how can you make a film about dreams? Because even we don't understand what dreams are, and it's similar to the concept of Interstellar.
Yeah.
So, but he got a lot of credit. He got a lot of
huge financial success. Did it make $1 billion?
Yeah.
$1 billion.
An original idea as well.
An original idea. $1 billion.
In an age of instantly recognisable franchises, built-in audiences, brand recognition, that is sizable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's admirable.
Admirable. Yeah.
It was huge. I think what happened with Christopher Nolan was after The Dark Knight, the success of that went to his head.
Yeah.
Most #1 on IMDb's best films of all time list for ages.
Yeah.
It's not now. It's gone back to Shawshank.
Yeah.
Yeah, huge, loads and loads of money it raked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were loads, pretty much every award he could have gotten, of People Award, not like the Oscars are out. He won, so probably the success of that went to his head.
Yeah.
And then you just think, well, I can do anything. Let's make a film about dreams.
Yeah. I mean, fortunately, it struck a chord with audiences.
Yeah.
And then he follows Inception up. A huge critical financial success of Inception is followed up by, I think,
his worst film.
Yeah, probably. It definitely is most divisive, and that's The Dark Knight Rises.
Which we'll be getting on to more, but we'll just try and place it within his career at this point.
So, The Dark Knight Rises is marred by a mixture of trying to appease the comic book fans,
yeah,
and then kind of dulling down, diluting the themes and concepts Nolan was dealing with in Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. I think he kind of abandons a lot of it.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of problems, but here you can see, can't you, the tide sort of turning against him.
Yeah, definitely.
It got much more mixed reviews. It was still a financial success, but much more mixed.
I think the studio was anticipating more than Dark Knight.
Yeah. But don't you think, it's culturally, it's who talks about it now?
No one really, but people are still discussing
the Dark
Knight. Yeah. What I was anticipating from Dark Knight Rises was this kind of grand conclusion to this trilogy of films, and a Dark Knight ends in a really interesting way, which I personally think it ends fine. I don't think there was any need to do a sequel to have some money, and it making Christopher Nolan's wallet a bit bigger. But if it was going to be a sequel, I'd want to see, Batman could be on the run from Gordon, and
it gets rid of all the interesting stuff.
All the interesting stuff is gone in favour of.
As I say, we'll do a long review of that.
Yeah.
So just to place it in his career, he started, and now we're Interstellar. It's meh.
But I think in between as well. I think the tide turned with Man of Steel.
Oh yeah, he produced Man of Steel.
Yeah, a lot of people were complaining about the gritty superhero aesthetic, and also I think with other films as well, like Amazing Spider-Man, people got very mixed opinions about Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Trying to make it dark and gritty. I think people kind of rolled their eyes a bit at the concept, I certainly did anyway, at the concept of a dark and gritty Superman film. Which
it just
is
doesn't work.
Not at all. And all the kind of pretentious speeches and, I think the seams are starting to appear a bit where
Yeah.
It's trying to sound intelligent, but it's not.
No.
It's not really saying anything. It's the dictionary definition of pretentious.
Yeah.
It's pretending to
be something it isn't.
Yeah. And looking down on people that don't, basically.
Yeah. Like, this is how to do a superhero film.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's not, like, in Man of Steel, there's really not a lot of Zack Snyder elements in there.
No.
There's no speed up, slow down, no really highly stylized visuals or
homoeroticism.
Homoeroticism.
Terrible sex scenes set to Leonard Cohen songs.
Oh god, we'll have to do a real Watchmen one day.
Yeah, I've only watched it once.
I've only watched it once, but I'm a fan of the comic. Yeah. I love the comic book.
I've read. I'm thinking of V for Vendetta. That's the only comic book I've ever read. But yeah.
Well, for free you should read Watchmen, V for Vendetta, and Mouse. Mouse is excellent.
Yeah. But yeah, I think some of the goodwill he built up over the years, he's pretty much squandered. Christopher Nolan.